7,500 residents can connect, ways for neighborhoods to take ownership, and ways to ensure a fantastic Rainier Beach Town Hall meeting. And so some of the items that were offered at that time we've been able to employ. Following that, we had a town hall at South Shore here, 2014. And the way that we set that process up is we had folks break out into action areas, and we wanted them to identify quick wins and ideas that will knock your socks off. And so these are just some of the examples of the activity that came out of there. In 2014, we also had what we call a roaming town hall meeting, where we brought folks who were creating jobs together. And these are some of the things that they said are success measures for job creation in the Rainier Beach neighborhood. And last year we were at the Ethiopian Community Center, where we got in-depth presentations on Rainier Beach, a beautiful, safe place. We had a gentleman, Curtis Brown, talk about how we can overcome being displaced through the use of finance leveraging. We had a presentation from the International Baccalaureate Program, and we also had a presentation, an introduction of the Food Innovation District. This is a list of wins, and in your packet, there is a list of these wins on a one-pager, and we consider these some things that we were able to accomplish over the last year. And so now I'm going to turn it over to David, who's going to get us into the program today.
Okay, well, thank you, Gregory. Thank you, everybody, for coming. So where we are today, and when I look at the wins, I'm already, thinking we've accomplished quite a lot, and we've gone, as you can see over the years, quite a long way. But just to do a brief recap on what happened last year and what really affected this neighborhood. So what you've got here is just four bullet points per action area, and I'll go through them quickly. And if you have any questions about them, just raise your hand, and I can give you more explanation. I just don't want to spend the whole evening. We could easily do that, but let's not. So the place for everyone, the HALA recommendation, so the housing affordability and livability agenda. So we know housing is becoming quite an issue in Seattle, if it hasn't been for a number of years. And so the city's been looking at a number of ways to really approach that issue and make sure Seattle stays affordable for everybody, and make sure that everybody that lives in Seattle can actually stay here as well as welcome others. So this is an ongoing thing. The group that was working with the mayor came up with 65 recommendations. That's a lot, which is probably a good thing because there's a lot that needs to be done. At the same time, that means that it's complicated. So now the work is still ongoing, and people are asked to provide their input. The second one on the list is the priority hire ordinance. So some of you may remember what happened when the community center was being planned rather than built. At the time, well, the input from your community was sought, and when the construction started, what we realized is that nobody from this area, from this community, was actually getting to work on that project. So that raised some questions, how do we engage people, and how do we make sure we create jobs on a local basis? And so after a number of campaigning, advocating, any members from God Green, Puget Sound Stage in here? Yeah, here they are. So they know, they were leading the effort, and what was initially known as the targeted local hire was passed by the council last year as the priority hire ordinance. And what this means is that from now on, for every public project, so we're still looking at projects that the city will lead, so any kind of civic construction work, not yet the whole spectrum of construction, there is a requirement for builders to hire locally and hire people in the community where the project's built. And you'll see some more outreach being done this year through the corner graders and others, because Rainier Beach Action Coalition is also partnering with others to actually promote and basically make people aware of that program. Because it's all very well for the council to vote it, but if people don't know how to access it, it's not going to get anywhere. So that's something we're going to be involved in. free all-cut passes. So here's another one. Any youth transit justice in the room? Anybody that was on that campaign? Oh yeah. So here's another great example of how the community can really step it up and apply pressure and make sure our elected officials listen and change things. And I know our council member Harold was part of that discussion, and we got it to work. The money was put in the budget, and we're now looking at free all passes between 1 and 2 miles from the school. So what used to be, you were getting an orchid card if you were 2 miles away from your school. Now it's down to half that, which is 1 mile. Not yet free for everybody, but you know, it's progress. Already giving a shout out to Patrice Thomas. Where are you going? So that's another big step for Rainier Beach Action Coalition, obviously, but also for this neighborhood, because now we have a face and we have someone working full-time on coordinating all these efforts. So if there's anything you need, anything you want to bring up to us, Patrice is the one. Let's see if I can try to get through this quickly. Lifelong learning. Last year, as part of some of the initiatives that Rainier Beach Action Coalition led, we got a grant to get some youth involved and do some storytelling around some issues in neighborhoods. So the 206 Rising is about putting videos together, and those videos are available. Check with Mr. Ken right there.
YouTube 206 Rising.
YouTube 206 Rising. Okay, that's simple. So go and check it out. It's quite inspiring and moving, but you know, it comes from our youth. The Youth Opportunity Summit that took place last year was another one of those really strong moments where, you know, basically the youth got to put their point across. Some discussion around the orchid card happened there, but also a number of other issues. Now the NAAPID celebration that took place at the end of last year was another one of those examples where, you know, community, and for that, in that particular instance, African American fathers came to this very school just to, you know, give some appreciation to all the hard work that the students go through. So 200 fathers showed up on that day, and I think you all remember what happened. The Economic Opportunity Center is a win, even though it's still in progress. And I'll just say 2 things about this, is that it's something that's been looked at for some time. There's an example of it at North Seattle Community College. And what this is basically a facility that takes away some of the hurdles to look for jobs and apply for jobs. And the idea is that you come to one central location, you have access to computer, to the internet, to job resources, and there will be a childcare and a nurse and whoever else you need if you need childcare or help with a nurse. But what's happened last year is that Pramila Jayapal, Senator, led a campaign at the state level and got $1.3 million put in the budget to secure the land that will go towards hosting this facility. And Mayor and the Council followed up through last year's budget, and they got an additional $1.8 million in that budget to, you know, further and pursue the feasibility study for it, and just, you know, make sure this becomes a reality. A beautiful, safe place.
Is there land chosen for that yet?
Yes, there is, because the requirement from a state perspective was that that money would be attached to a piece of land. So there's a South Seattle Housing Authority, a piece of land in Othello, in the Othello neighborhood, that has been earmarked for it. Beautiful, safe place. So, as I hope you all know, the corner greeters have resumed. So last year, from June through the end of November, every week our youth and our youth outreach workers were at 5 hotspot locations around the neighborhood, just, you know, letting people know about what's going on and how, you know, this initiative, which is part of a much larger picture, initiated originally by the Burn Justice Grant. So going back, just to give a little background for people that I don't know, going to 2013, the city applied for a federal grant, and so the Burn Justice Grant. And for 2 years, collected data with SPD and with the Seattle Youth Violence Initiative to look at Rainier Beach and see how we can curb violence and specifically youth crime. And so the amazing and the great thing is the crime's down 30%. So hooray for that. And part of this bigger picture, we have the Boys and Girls Club, we have the Safe Passage. You must have seen a number of people with blue shirts around the neighborhood, and that's all part of this idea that, you know, if we inhabited and activated areas, then, you know, people will feel more secure, and also people that shouldn't be around causing trouble don't feel welcome. So the good news is that this has also been reconducted. The funding's been renewed by the city. The federal funding stopped at the end of last year, but it's been renewed for 2016 by the city. Bridge to Beach, I'm sure some or a lot of you were out there just a few weeks ago, cleaning up, painting, you know, making the neighborhood look great. Well, this also happened the year before, and it's been an ongoing thing. And obviously, it's just only growing and getting more successful. The Human Rights Award was an award that Rainier Beach Action Coalition got last year as a coalition leader. And basically, this was recognition from the Human Rights Commission of Seattle. So it does show that, you know, people know we're out there, and we do get recognition once in a while for all the hard work that we put into all the initiatives that we lead. And finally, growing food for healthy industry. So one of the things that's not directly tied to this, but that's important in supporting this initiative, is our fellow from the Rainier Valley Corps, Nate Thomas. Nate, where are you? Nate. Well, I guess he stepped out. But anyway, shout out to the Rainier Valley Corps. Anybody else? Woo! Just a word about the Rainier Valley Corps. So it's not a non-profit organization that has been placing 10 fellows in local non-profit organizations to support their work. And basically, you know, those fellows are paid, but not by the organization, by Rainier Valley Corps, to be able to be out there available to help. So, thank you. We're the lucky recipient of, you know, that program too. Something that's been ongoing, and we'll talk probably a bit more about it in a minute, but the Food Innovation District is something that, you know, came out of the plan update, and that Rainier Beach Action Coalition has been talking about for some time. It's growing. The momentum is definitely, you know, being felt, and we have new partners all the time. And since last year, we have some two heavyweight on that table, named Puget Sound Sage and God Green. Still out there, Puget Sound Sage, God Green, I guess. So each from a different angle. Puget Sound Sage, obviously, a leader in terms of policy and urban policies. So how do we approach, you know, this topic, and then we make sure that the city can put in place strategies to support it. And then God Green is obviously behind the green jobs, and this is the, you know, the deliverable and the outcome that we're all hoping for through that program. RBAC opened a desk, or I should say an office, at the Food and Farm Hub. So if you haven't been there yet, it's on Director Street. It's an amazing facility. We have now 5 different groups in there. We have Seattle Tilt, where they manage their CSA from. We have Juicebox, which is juicer, as you know, as the name says it. We have the Seattle Farm Co-op has now moved there to this new location. So anybody with chicken and goats and whatever, all the feeds out there. And we have now also Wild Chocolate, and Wild Chocolate makes the most amazing chocolate of all sorts.
Is that a retail?
Well, that's the thing. So the space itself is very much a working space. So this is the facility where they produce, but they do retail online as well as in various locations throughout the city. And RBAC has now an office in that location too. So Patrice could tell you that, you know, when sales come back with a few bags of apples that haven't been given away, Wild Chocolate just takes them, dips them in chocolate, and spread them around, the office, so it's a nice place to go anytime. And finally, but not least, the Communities of Opportunity is a new initiative that started sort of early 2015, led by King County Health and Seattle Foundation. And this is a real important step in the right direction, and looking how we can bring an organized community around a number of topics. And those points of focus for the Communities of Opportunity are health, housing, economic development, and a sense of community. So there are 3 sites in South King County. Rainier Valley is one of them. So Rainier Beach Action Coalition is one of 4 coalitions that include the MCC, the Multicultural Center, On Board Othello, and South Core, South Communities Organizing Regional Racial Equity, which is also a part of Puget Sound Sage. And the others are White Center and CTAC. And this particular program is a substantial grant of upwards of $150,000 per year over 3 years. So we're now in year 2, and that supports a lot of the program that we put in this event, amongst others. So with that, Gregory, do you want me to try to say what we're looking at?
Yes.
Okay. So one thing, well, I'll just go briefly through what we're focusing on today, and what we kind of expect from you, or at least we want you to be involved with. And one of the things is visibility and capacity. So those are the things you can really participate and help us and support us with. So in terms of visibility, we have a tremendous online presence. Thank you to some very active gentlemen, including Ken and Gregory, and everybody, including you, that has a cell phone, has been really heavily promoting and putting words out there about what we do. So that's one thing. The other thing is capacity. So you'll hear a lot more tonight about 4 different action areas. That's the way our action plan has been devised, and how we try to go forward. And you'll get a number of presentations for each of those, and by the end, or by later in the evening anyway, we'll try to break out into sessions so you can feel free to join the one you're more comfortable with. But those are, like we said earlier, lifelong learning, place for everyone, a beautiful, safe place, and growing food to grow a healthy industry. Those are the things that we do, and this is all I'll say for now, because my time's up, and we want to get into it.
A lot of things have gone on, and so today it is a lot of information sharing. Our hope is to be able to get you to talking to each other, but one of the things that we did this year, different than we did last year, is last year we had 4 presentations. People spoke at length, maybe 14, 15 minutes, each presentation going in depth. This year we wanted to have more people involved, speed up the pace a little bit in terms of the presentations. And so that's the design that we have. So we're going to have this rapid fire presentation asking people to come forward and only speak 5 minutes at a time to share information about what they're doing. And so again, if you know that you've been reached out to by Patrice and you have not seen her, find her so that you'll know what your order is. And I think she's out here in the registration area. So one of the things that we want to do is first, as we talk about each action area, is to talk about a specific Rainier Beach Action Coalition initiative and then hear from folks in the neighborhood. And so one of the things that David talked about a little bit was Rainier Beach, a beautiful, safe place for you. And what you have up here is some crime data that was just shared with us on Tuesday at our Rainier Beach, a beautiful, safe place for youth core team meeting, shared by the precinct captain. So you can see what we have up here are categories of incidents, year that the incident happens, and then a category for decline. So as you can see in 2014, robbery, aggravated assault, burglary, larceny, auto theft, rape, homicide, arson. You can see what those numbers were. Moving on to 2015, you can see what those numbers were. And you can see the decline in those particular categories. So as sure as we know that there's still a lot of work to be done, crime has decreased in Rainier Beach by at least 33% over the last couple of years. So when it comes to the perception of our neighborhood relative to the rest of the city, relative to other cities in the nation, we are coming together impacting this issue. And so this is one thing that we want you to be able to message leaving here, knowing that crime has been decreasing. And the Rainier Beach, a beautiful, safe place for youth, is going to continue to do the work to impact this number. So let's give yourselves a hand for this. And I want to introduce you to some young people who were contributing to this. So I'd like to ask all of the youth engagement workers who participated in Rainier Beach, a beautiful, safe place last year, to come forward. Yo Bachania, Miriam, Samuel, please come forward so that you can get some recognition and know that people are appreciative of your work. Any other youth engagement workers, outreach workers? Well, come on over and get some props. And so these young people have been forming our corner greeters crew, and they rotate between what we call hotspots in the neighborhood on a weekly basis. And you'll see them with pop-up canopy style activities. And so we want to recognize these particular young people for our first cohort. And we want to ask our 2016 cohort to come forward. And so you will see these young people out in the neighborhood at the corner greeters. Okay, so the next corner greeter is going to be at Safeway next Tuesday, and these are going to be the young people that's doing this. So let's give them another round of applause, because they're going to be out in the neighborhood making a difference. Okay, you can go sit down now. You got your applause. Back to work. Okay. And so go online and look at, see what the calendar is. And so this is our calendar for through August. And so you can see the next location is coming up on May 20th at Safeway. That's a Friday. So I'd like to call one of our important partners in community and neighborhood stalwart organizations to come forward. I'm going to ask Roger Givens, who's representing Rainier Beach Merchants Association, to come forward and to share some information with you about them. So let's give him some appreciation, not only him, but the organization and the work that they're doing in the neighborhood.
Good evening, everyone. Roderick Givens, resident, and actually I have several organizations that I'm associated with. I see Natalie Hester with the Rainier Valley Community Development Fund, a micro-lender, or actually a lender in the neighborhood for those who have businesses. Also the Rainier Chamber, I sit on that board. And I'm also part of the Rainier Beach Community Club. Just by show of hands, how many people have been to the Rainier Beach Community Club? Okay. About half the room. The club is celebrating their 93rd year of existence in Rainier Beach. That's a cornerstone of Rainier Beach. And some of you are saying, okay, yeah, what do they do? And they do a lot of things in the community that you've heard, you're going to continue to hear, but I think it's just nice to celebrate that Rainier Beach is just not something that came along the last 20, 30, 40 years. It's, I think, a beacon of the Seattle area. But Gregory asked me to speak about the opportunities that we have with the Rainier Beach Merchants. I'm actually not on the board of the Merchants. I'm just a business owner who actually has a certified financial planning firm, the only one south of I-90.
Tell him.
Yeah, just not gonna mention that as a financial planner firm here in Seattle, Washington, but
South Seattle, Washington.
South Seattle, Washington. The Merchants is really focused on providing businesses in the community the tools and resources in order to succeed, not only succeed but thrive in the challenging market environment. The Merchants, which is led by Dave Merrill, many of you know Maya Esguerra, who run the firm, Cindy Jones, They are really focused on partnering and providing some activities. So let me just go over a couple of the activities that they've done in the last year. How many people participated in the Light Up the Beach? Okay. The Light Up a Beach was that first week in December, going around to the various businesses, had somewhat of a holiday theme. I thought it was well put together, but it's just a chance to walk the neighborhood, and I think a time of celebration. I thought they did a really good job on that. They've been partnering with the Rainier Beach High School very heavily. There's the tailgate. Yes, Rainier Beach High School had a tailgate for their homecoming, participated with that. How many people saw the mural on King Donut? Get a hand for that. So the Merchants was part of sponsoring that mural, the development of that. And then going forward, there are a couple of events that we are looking at. The first is that there is on July, it looks like July 16th. Before we get to that, 51st in Rainier, Kings and Queens. Is Detective Cookie, is she in the house over here? Yep. She has been really, I think, a staple of the community, and with the chess program, and yes, you. So if you haven't noticed, right where they've done a lot of work on 51st and Rainier, there is a statue of a king and queen, and we're going to put together an event in the next couple of weeks, date to be determined by the city, but I think that's just really a feature that I think a lot of cities wish they had, and I think it represents our neighborhood well. July 16th, there is the Rainier Beach High School is going to be a stop for Seattle to Portland, STP, handing out water and encouraging. Has anybody here run a marathon or done any kind of biking? Yeah, it really, those are the things you remember when you're going through a race on, the tough times and people helping you out. So if you have a chance to participate in that, I think that'd be helpful. And then the next week we have BAM Fest. Many of you remember the old name? Art Walk. It's not Art Walk, it's BAM Fest, which is the Rainier Beach Arts and Music Festival, and that's July 23rd. And there's going to be some reconfigurations. I think there's some very talented artists, maybe some of the artists you'll hear tonight or have a chance to meet, but I think it's a great opportunity to see the talent that Rainier Beach has to offer. I think the takeaway is that the businesses here, while they may not be the Amazons, the Starbucks, they are doing a lot in the community. They really are. I'm a firm believer that business is a cornerstone of the community. And as they're doing everything in the community and partnering with other institutions that you'll hear later, I just ask that you not only recognize those businesses, but be aware, and if you can obviously partner with them with your consumer dollars, it'll make Rainier Beach stronger. So, thank you.
Thank you, Roger. As you can see, the Rainier Beach Merchants is very active. And so this ends our presentation for the section on a beautiful, safe place. And so now we're transitioning to a place for everyone. And so one of the Rainier Beach Action Coalition initiatives or concepts that we're interested in is called the Food Innovation District, or the Food Innovation Center. And as you can see, there's a rendering there. And one of the things that we want to do is to continue to leverage the work that the Rainier Beach, the Friends of Rainier Beach Urban Farm has started in terms of developing healthy food for our neighborhood. And so this idea of the Rainier Beach Food Innovation Center, it allows for a marketplace, community hall, rooftop greenhouses, classrooms, to do some culinary arts instruction. And we see it as a catalyst for jobs, neighborhood identity, cultural diversity, and heritage. We do have a proposal into the Kresge Foundation to support a $75,000 planning grant, and then subsequently from there, 3 years of support. I believe it's $100,000 for implementation. And so we're expecting to hear very soon from them to be able to contribute to making this a reality. And so we're really excited about it.
Where is that picture? Where are we in that picture? Like, what's the streets?
Yeah, this particular rendering is actually on Henderson and Martin Luther King. And we don't want you to get bogged down as to where it is right now because we have no site control. for anything, but we needed to kind of take a space that we thought was strategic, and naturally anything as close to the light rail area is strategic to take advantage of transit-oriented development. But we are in conversation with property owners in the area to see what may be the best location. And so we're excited about this. And so now we want to just kind of transition and ask for Got Green's team to come forward, Marion and Odun, who will be talking about Got Green's work, and they're an important group in our neighborhood and one of the people that we're excited about partnering with.
Thank you, everyone, for that rousing clap. There's a lot of people out there. Thank you all for inviting us and coming out to spend this evening. We're gonna do this rapid fire style, right? So anything I leave out, you can come ask me after. We have some stuff in the back that you can read to take home, and some stickers and stuff. So my name is Hodan, and I work for an organization called Got Green. Just a little bit about us. We are a people of color-led organization that works in the intersection of climate, racial, and gender justice, right? So I specifically work with the Climate Justice Committee, and I'm the organizer for that. The Climate Justice Committee was started by Got Green in Puget Sound Sage. Shout out, Puget Sound Sage. At the beginning of last year in 2015. So we got together to put together a steering committee, a team of young people of color who are involved in their community to sort of respond to the idea that people of color don't care about climate change, right? People of color don't care about climate change, they don't recycle, they don't drive hybrid cars and all the things that we think climate change is, right? So we put together a 20-minute survey asking questions like, what do you think of when you hear the terms climate change, right? Or what comes to your mind? And what anything will make your community safer, right? So we went into neighborhoods of color and asked people to take 20-minute surveys about climate change, which when I first started out, I was like, what, why, right? But when you talk to people of color about climate change and make it so that the issues that are involving them are reflected in our questions, it became one of the most amazing conversations that I've ever had, right? So we interviewed and surveyed 175 people and 30 organizations that work closely with communities of color. And the results of that are this beautiful report, which I have some in the back for, right? And the top 3 things that stood out were affordable housing, health, and food, right? So people were like, I can't talk about what is climate change, right? I don't have a roof over my head. And if I do, I barely have a roof over my head. I don't have like enough money to feed my family like good food, right? So in this report, we talk about centering people of color and our lives and our issues and our problems in climate change, right? Because climate change didn't just come about yesterday, right? It's something that's been produced by our extractive economy, right? So that's kind of our thing. Marion will tell you a little bit more, and in the end, we can tell you how you can be more involved with Got Green. Okay?
All right, hello everyone, my name is Marion. I'm a Rainier Valley Corps Fellow with Got Green. And, hey, I'm Missy. So I'm going to talk about the Young Leaders in the Green Movement portion of Got Green. We're actually also a committee under Got Green that focuses on the green jobs portion. Similar things that we did as the Climate Justice Committee, we went out, got research done, asking young adults of color and low-income adults, saying, hey, what's the barrier? Why can't you get a better job? What's going on? Talk to us. What do you need? And a lot of them, we surveyed 150 young adults in the Rainier Valley area, and they said that the huge barrier was accessibility to living wage internship opportunities that led into career pathways. And so as we continue to do, talk to the community, we realized that there's a way that we could, what could we do to break down this barrier? And from that was born the Green Pathways campaign. We also have a report in the back. I should have brought it up here, but basically it states that in order for young adults of color and low-income adults to get opportunities to career pathways, we need living wage internship opportunities in Seattle, because many young adults are like, I cannot afford to not work. I have to either work to support myself or my family, and there's no other option. So how can I get a better job if there's no opportunities for me to do so? So the tenets of the Green Pathways campaign is the first one, first and foremost, is living wage internships that have a racial justice lens. And this has an analysis on recruitment and retention. And also, we need these internships to be good for the community and the environment, because a lot of the young adults are also saying, like what Don said, like, I care about the environment, but right now I need to have my basic needs met before I can do something about the environment. And lastly about this tenet is to create career pathways. So, you know, making sure that these internships actually create opportunities for our young adults and low-income young adults. So part of this campaign, we're partnering with RBAC. So sorry, quickly tying it to the Food Innovation District. We're hoping that this will be a pilot program for our young adults. And through this, we're actually creating a resolution. So we're in the writing process. And we will be working with the Mayor's Office and the City Council. So thank you, Bruce Harrell, for being here. And thank you all so much for being here. If you want to talk to me more, I'm in the orange blues. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. A lot of things going on in Rainier Beach. One of the quick announcement is that we just learned that Google is bringing Wi-Fi to South Seattle, and Rainier Beach Community Center will get new computers and Wi-Fi. And so that's scheduled to happen pretty soon. So we want to ask Ty and Brittany, who are property owners in the neighborhood, to come forward and share with us for 3 or so minutes. Let's give them some appreciation, because it's always important to have property owners in the process.
We wish that we were Got Green, but since we can't, that position's already taken, I guess we will we'll be the act that follows them. So I'm Ty, this is Brittany.
And we're the property owners right at the corner of MLK and Henderson, so that little graphic there is our property sits right in there, right across from the light rail.
You have to squint to see it. It's just a little property, but yeah, so she was my daughter's teacher. We really wanted to work together. We were excited about working with youth and I've always wanted to be part of developing where it's not about gentrifying, but about keeping what's there and who's there and including them in the process. So we kind of got excited about this little opportunity at the station.
Yeah, and so for about the past year, we've just been in think mode. We acquired the property in August of this past year. And so throughout that time, Patrice has been a huge resource for us and a huge partner in that think process. And as of now, we're still in the think process.
Yep.
But
the really cool thing that she wanted us to tell you all about is that this cat lined us up with the Foster School of Business at the UW, so that there's the students are doing a commercial real estate gig to competition with the property to determine the highest and best use, but they have to involve our philosophy going through.
Yes, and so Patrice, along with Ty and I, presented to the students in this class at UW the parcel, yeah. But also what our goals were, which again we reiterated over and over. Think the opposite of gentrification when you think of this place, when you begin making your plans, when you begin coming up with your projects. And Patrice did a wonderful job giving the students and also the professor and the director of the Consulting and Business Development Center at UW a good view of the community, the Rainier Beach community, and what was important to you all and all 4
points that the mayor just talked about, yeah. And,
yes.
And the coolest part thing about the whole project is that next year, the idea is that the Foster School of Business will be then working with Rainier Beach High School to solicit folks to come and be part of their commercial real estate program. So it's not just the white good old boy club that commercial real estate tends to be. So they're real excited about this, as are we.
And so that's really all that we have, and thank you all for inviting us and welcoming us into the community. Love it.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, next we have Habitat for Humanity. They've got an exciting program going on. Is Patty in the house?
Yeah.
Patty, come on up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Patty Julio, and I am the new Director of Community Engagement at Habitat for Humanity, Seattle, King County. Thank you. I'm also a Seattle native, and I was born and raised, and I currently live across the street. So I remember when this building wasn't even here. I'd like to share a couple of things that we're doing today in the neighborhood, but I just want to back up, and for folks that don't know who Habitat for Humanity is, we are a builder and a preserver of affordable housing for low-income families and households in Seattle and in King County. We've been around for about 30 years, and we currently have projects that are in Sammamish, a new construction in Sammamish, one of the most highest housing, expensive cost neighborhoods in King County, and we're currently building a new construction of veterans housing in Pacific in South King County near the Pierce border. We have over 400 affordable homes, and we also have homes at Rainier Vista and New Holly. A majority of our clientele, our homeowners, are immigrants and refugees, many of whom are from war-torn countries and are moving here in the hopes for bettering their lives. So a couple of things that I want to point to your attention. Number one, we have a whole bunch of swag and coupons to our Habitat store at the back of the table. We also have information about two important things. One is our critical home repair program. We started doing our critical home repair here in Southeast Seattle earlier this year, and to date we have served a majority of seniors, large households, and retired veterans. If you qualify for our critical home repair program, a senior can get a $12,000 roof repair for only $100. Isn't that incredible? So if you would like to get more information about that, that is on the back of our table there. We are also hoping to partner with the Seattle Skills Center at the Rainier Beach High School this next school year, and we are going to be working with the construction class to help train students and be out in the field for construction and to give them some good practical experience for pre-apprenticeship applications into the construction field. So if you're interested in that, if you have a student at Rainier Beach High School or anywhere, please let us know and we'd be happy to connect you. A couple other things for our youth in the house. Habitat is hiring. We have a multitude of AmeriCorps positions. Those are also listed in the back with flyers. And I'd also love to invite the youth in the house to join our Habitat Youth Professionals. So this is a group of youth who are just starting out in their career and wanting to get connected with Habitat and gain some practical skills in affordable housing. Lastly, I'd like to say that next month we will be holding our second annual Pride Build. So our first annual Pride Build was last year, and this is something in terms of getting the community together to really help folks in need. We're hoping to focus the project this year on our queer youth. So if you have any ideas on where Habitat can help, let's say repair a shelter, repair a safe house, please let us know.
And lastly, I would like to just point out my colleagues who are here tonight, part of the Habitat team, Ryan and Corbin. Can you raise your hand, please? So feel free to address them with anything that I've talked to you today, and thank you very much for your time.
All right, Patty, thank you. Let's give her some more appreciation. They're going to do some significant work in Rainier Beach. I'm very excited to introduce this next gentleman. He's my pastor, senior pastor, Emerald City Bible Fellowship, Harvey Drake.
Thank you, Brother Gregory. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. Everybody's doing all right so far?
Yep.
Groovy. It's a 60s term for those of you who were not born in the 1800s, right? Emerald City Bible Fellowship is a small congregation located right here in Rainier Valley. In 1997, about 50 of us bought 3 acres of property off the corner of Kenyon. 1999, well, I should say we had a meeting and we said, if we buy this property, can we do something with it other than build a church for ourselves? Could it possibly be used to enhance the life of our community? And the overwhelming response was absolutely yes. So in 99, we built a small 15,000 square foot facility for ourselves because we had moved 5 times in 7 years. And so we've been at 7728 Rainier Avenue since that time. In 2005, we saw fit to have a fitness center built called Rainier Health and Fitness. Anybody familiar with Rainier Health and Fitness? When it began, it was in a small 850 square foot building. And in 2007, Emerald City Bible Fellowship borrowed $400,000 to enlarge the building to a 4,000 square foot facility because we believed so much in what was happening through that organization or that ministry. And we enhanced that. In 2014, we, with the help of Mercy Housing, built Emerald City Commons right next door to our property. And so the 2 years that it's been open, it has been full or filled to capacity, all right? And in addition to that, Rainier Health and Fitness got a new home, and now there are about 1,800 members that operate and exercise out of RHF in their new 6,000 square foot facility. So why am I here tonight? On your table is a sheet of paper, and it's a brief survey. We are trying to discern what we should do with the balance of our property. We have some dreams from about 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago, and we're vetting some of those ideas, but we thought it would be good if we can get some help from the community to help us determine what to do with the acre and a half that we have left. The property has been rezoned. It's all neighborhood commercial 240, which means that we can go up quite a ways and go back quite a ways. And so I simply need you to take a few minutes, if you would, fill out the survey, and you can leave it on your table. They'll be collected at the end of the evening, and then Mr. Davis will make sure that they get back to us. We want to always be in a position whereby whatever we do connects with our neighborhood. We are here, we are residents, we care, we love this neighborhood, we believe in this neighborhood. And so I'm really excited because in our congregation we have people coaching football at Cleveland High School, track and cross country at Franklin High School. We have somebody coaching tennis over at Rainier Beach High School. We have a plethora of people involved in some of the neighborhood processing because we, again, are part of the neighborhood, and that's critical for us. I am happy to say that tonight there are 11 active members of Emerald City Bible Fellowship here at this meeting, and so I'm gonna close by calling them out. Can I give them a shout out? And I need you to fill out the survey, all right? So, Jarrell Davis, Darrell Touch, Roxanne Allen, Wanda Saunders, Sean and Gregory Davis are both in the house. Steve Burry, who's the executive director that works with me at Urban Impact. Guy Anthony is in the house, Charity, and then Danielle Jackson and Cedric Davis. And we are here again because we care. Brother Gregory, thank you very much for the opportunity. Please fill out the survey, leave it on the table. They'll be collected at the end.
Okay, thank you very much, Pastor. Appreciate you. Let's give him some appreciation. He's been in the neighborhood for 25 years. So I'm going to ask Darzell Touch to come up and talk to us about the Transit Justice Youth. Oh, here she is. Let's give her some appreciation. Come on.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Darzell Touch. I work at Rainier Beach High School, and I'm also a servant leader intern for our Freedom School, Children's Defense Fund Freedom School program at Rainier Beach as well. And so I have had the really high honor of serving alongside our scholars at Rainier Beach during the school year and even in the summer during the program. And what came out of this transformative program is what you've probably heard about, which was the transit justice movement in Seattle to push for free Orca cards for all students who are on free and reduced lunch. And while we have an amazing win, we were able to get $1 million promised by the city to fund Orca cards for our students on free or reduced lunch, and to also reduce the walk zone from 2 miles to 1 to 2 miles. We still have work to do. And our students really were the ones who brought this to our attention because they were the ones who were the most impacted. Our school is 73% on free and reduced lunch. We are a school with 95% students of color, and they were the ones who brought this issue before in 2012 when they did research, as you heard, through the Rainier Beach Empowerment Coalition with George Mason University. They basically surveyed the community to try and find out what were the issues that were really impacting our students and our community. And what came out of that research was the fact that our students did not have means of transportation in this community to get to school. And so working off of that research, our scholars in our Freedom School program basically created this organic movement for transit equity. And although the media likes to paint this issue as an equality issue and also one of something that the students are walking through a dangerous neighborhood, right? It's not about that, it's about equity. And so our students have really fought hard to center equity as the issue of this movement. And so, like I said, we still have so much work to do because right now we're in the process of really having our, the district actually is not really, what was it? Yeah, the district wasn't on board, of course, but right now, although the money is there, we've had a low turnout for applicants of our students applying for the Orca cards, and so we need to encourage the district and also write to them and tell them that they need to create a better system for advertising this to our scholars who actually need it, because that is the main problem. There are so many students who are affected who don't know that this is in existence right now, and that is the district's problem. So we encourage you to partner with us by pressing on the school board for that attention. And also, I have to plug our Freedom Schools, because without our Freedom Schools program at Rainier Beach, our scholars would not have been able to generate this movement and bring this to the table to officials, city officials who are listening. So, as you know, we do have a Summer Freedom Schools program at Rainier Beach High School. We have just successfully completed our phase 1 of our fundraising because we did not have funding this year. So we were able to raise $26,000 within a matter of 8 days, which has secured our funding, well, not completely secured our funding, but it has secured our place in the program. And so now we are left with funding $60,000 to completely cover the costs. And so I just ask that in order to continue to support our scholars and support their voices through this program. This program was a platform for their voices to be heard. Please partner with us, collaborate with us through our Freedom Schools program so that we can continue to nurture this freedom fighting spirit within our scholars. Thank you.
Good job, thank you. The transit justice youth work has been in motion for a number of years. I want to give Rebecca Sadania a shout out because Puget Sound Sage approached Rainier Beach Action Coalition back in 2010 to create this movement around transit justice. And naturally, everything we do, we're always standing on somebody's shoulders, and that was the case in this case. I'd like to ask now one of my personal favorite organizations because of the work they do, although I can't get to any of their meetings, is BikeWorks and Phyllis Porter. I ask you to come on up and let's show some appreciation for Phyllis Porter to talk about BikeWorks and Rainier Valley Greenways.
Hi everybody, how's everybody tonight? Thanks for having us here. I just want to talk a little bit about BikeWorks. Does everyone know about BikeWorks? Okay, for those that didn't clap or for those who didn't want to speak up, BikeWorks is a nonprofit organization and we're located down in Columbia City. We're at the corner of Rainier Avenue and Hudson, and we are an organization and we believe in sustaining communities through our youth, encouraging bicycling, encouraging health. We also have programs that we have every week, every month. In case someone said something earlier about bicycling, well, I'm the bicycle queen right here. So if you want to know more about bicycling after this, we can talk more. But right now, back to the youth. We give away bicycles to youth. We have a giveaway coming up on June 11th, and it's for ages 4 to 8. So if you're interested, you have a child, and you're interested in a free bicycle, please, please, please come and see us. We also have Bicycle Movie Night, which is coming up in July, down at Hudson and Rainier Avenue, right in the back parking lot at BikeWorks. Also, there's a lot of things that we have going on, and I know I only have 5 minutes, so please make sure after I'm done, you come back and see me because I have a list of other things. We also have youth classes where we have children, we have youth, we have kids come in and we teach them the basic of bicycling. Do you know how to change a flat tire on your bike? Okay, that's one of the things that we teach. So if you're interested, again, make sure you come and see me. Another thing that we're doing, we work with Rainier Valley Greenways. Rainier Valley Greenways is also a nonprofit organization where we advocate for safe streets. All of the things that's going on Rainier Avenue for the people who like it and for those that don't, oppose, or like, we're working with Rainier, we're working with City Council, we're working with the mayor downtown on trying to make sure that Rainier Beach is safe in more than one way. We can talk about accidents, we can talk about shootings, we can talk about all of that, but that's not the only thing that safety considers. We also have to think about our streets. Do we want to make sure we walk across the street safely? Do we? So one of the other things that I just petitioned for, and I really, 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 really need your help with this. How does our children of Rainier Beach, South Shore, and all the schools in this community get across Rainier Avenue and Henderson? Through the crosswalk, right? Okay, there's been a lot of different accidents that has happened out on Rainier Avenue. Okay, so what I've done through the Seattle grant funding, I'm petitioning or I've submitted an application for a raised crosswalk right here on Rainier Avenue in Henderson. All 4 crosswalks, okay? But I need your help. We have to go before the Southeast District Council on May 25th. I have to talk about why I want this out here. But I need your support. I need you to come. I need you to come to the Southeast District Council. I need you to stand behind me, or you can meet me next Wednesday, 3 o'clock after school. Let's take some pictures. So when I go to the district council, I can take you with me and say, these people want a raised crosswalk. It's a very busy hub. We have children, we have schools, we have libraries, we have medical facilities, we have the people of Rainier Beach who really support their unity, their unification here in the community, and we want a safe street. So see me later, BikeWorks, Rainier Valley Greenways. One other thing, we're having a big event. I'm sorry, it's a lot of stuff. We're having a big event on August 13th, It's called Seattle Summer Parkway. We're trying to get the entire community of Rainier Beach out on bicycles, pedestrian walking, wheelchairs, rollerblading, but we want you out in the community, at the parks. So make sure you come and see me because I have so much information. I can't take up any more of your time. But thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis. There's a lot of positive things going on in the neighborhood, and I usually refer to those things as you're holding back the tide. Holding back the tide. Another announcement I'd like to make is on May 17th at Rainier Beach Presbyterian Church, there's going to be a community meeting about the gun violence in our neighborhood, and that's at 6 p.m. Rainier Beach Presbyterian Church, 9656 Waters Avenue South, and all are invited and want you to tell other people about it. We're going to transition now into a little our artistic offering, and I've always been excited to be able to say this for this young man, and I want you all to show some appreciation to Jarrell Davis. He's been a young man working in our neighborhood, and I refer to him as the Kawhi Leonard of Rainier Valley, Jarrell Davis.
Check. You guys, bear with me. Turn to somebody and tell them, know your history. Tell them one more time like you mean it. Say, know your history. Okay, and I want you to real briefly look to somebody, and another person, to tell them where you're from. Mic check. All right, we good. Marcus Garvey said that a people with no knowledge of their origin, culture, and history is like a tree with no roots. Talk to me if you are curious to hope. Pushing past the pain is the experience of growth. I'm watering my roots, nourishing the truth. Pedal to the metal, watch me flourish in the booth. Every rose got thorns in the stem note, especially the ones that rose from cement. So handle with caution, proceed with patience. Steward the garden with no seed forsaken. I got mental notes baking, steps taken by the greats. A student learns from mistakes and push the proper preparation in during the off season. Don't protest the process when there's slow progress. The harvest is coming even when you can't see them. Look to the ants, then look in the mirror, then judge your work ethic before you say who's bigger. I know I'm blacker than the dirt that I was made from. If real hair was currency, these Nazi locks, I would not trade them. And these crooked cops, we cannot change them, at least until we change ourselves first. My brother, not until we love ourselves first. My sister, not until we properly appraise your self-worth. Look, absolutely, I'm African. I'm convinced that the savages were the colonizers that crossed the waters in Jesus' name, but then shackled us. Dynasties have been lasted. Architecture had been mastered. How could Greeks even learn to read when our alphabet had been crafted? Been rafted on boats and ships. Blacks came first, actually. Evidence in the melanin of our dark skin. And so naturally, humanity has got its roots in the motherland, and that's no debating. To the heroes of this nuanced nation, I've got no relation. Look, on this long walk to freedom, global kids in the kingdom, lost in the world, we trying to find a place to keep us. Pictures worth 1,000 words, I'm spitting images. They want us all to fall in line. We living different. Who want to work a 9 to 5 until the 95? Grind until you die just to try to stay alive. Look, my mentality navigates this reality similar to a war, like what you fighting for. You become a casualty when you sacrifice your sanity for a salary. Running for your life and burn bridges like a calorie. And all levity aside, still trying to find a smile in the tragedy. Look, I got some family right now that's locked. 3 hots in the cot, security round the clock. Hands together like it's 105, on the brink. Gotta sleep with one closed eye, that's not a wink. That's the way you gotta think in the clink. Cause the snakes like to strike when you blink. Watch the company you keep. Too many blind and empty threats. Y'all ain't feeling me? I see what we could be, redirect the energy. So instead of treating me like I'm the enemy, take a seat and break bread with me. All lives matter, that's true, but it's a different view with guns aiming at you. They got silence down to a science. Red roses signify blues because of violence. Tell me what's a rebel, boy, you ruled by some tyrants. Unify the gangs the same color as the sirens. And that's the color of royalty. It got us asking, where's the loyalty? They said I went back because God spoiled me, I'm blessed. Took a little sabbatical, came back as a radical. In the pursuit of justice, you cannot be moderate. Send these rappers to school and my gift is the scholarship. Want to pave a new way so my cousins can follow it. Advice to blow your mind on sight, these hollow tips. Gotta pray for the polls, police, and the politics, but I'm chasing the green, they chasing the dream. Who making the cuts? I'm making the team. It's all in my blood, it's all in my genes. Far above the average, but by any means, we gotta get it. You see we on a mission, right? Paying dues, they can't even pay attention, right? Okay, it's time for young boys to grow up. I know that I'm the bomb, I just been waiting to blow up. If we had a showdown, they probably wouldn't show up. I wanna reap fruit, now the question is, so what? Been seen defeat cause these streets be toe up. Flooded with police, I think we need more of indigenous leaders, prestigious believers. The quitters can leave us, cannot let the blind lead us. So whether you following Allah or Jesus, my thesis, we need to put the peace down and put some peace up. Shout out Rainier Beach, y'all, I'm out here. Peace, y'all, peace.
All right. Just have to tell you, his mother is right back there. You want to know who his people are. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have you spend some time talking to each other at your tables. In your packets, I want you to open them up, and I want you to pull out an action area update sheet that says a place for everyone. And I want you also to pull out an action area update sheet that says a beautiful, safe place. I want this side of the room to focus on a place for everyone. And I want this side of the room to focus on a beautiful, safe place. And what we want you to do at your tables is to look at the particular action area update that I outlined and look at the information that is on the front side that says action area update sheets. This is a list of activities and strategies that we have been engaged in the neighborhood over the last couple of years. We want you to take a quick review of that and then, as a table, identify who are the partners that should be involved in this. Who are the partners that should be involved? And then we want you to flip it over, and we have a description of a specific program. And we want your ideas as to what would be considered quick wins in relationship to that program. So what is this side going to be focusing on? A place for everyone. So what we want you to do is to take a look at a place for everyone in the description of the activities, and then on the back, in terms of priority hire, we want you to identify what you think would be some quick wins in regards to that. And so we just want one person at the table to kind of make sure everyone gets involved. We want one person at the table to be the note taker and to write down on the piece of paper what you come up with. And on this side, a beautiful, safe place, you're going to be taking on the corner greeter project and coming up with quick wins for that. And so we want one person at each table to take the notes because we don't want to receive 70 pieces of individual paper. We just want to get one from each table. So we're going to take about 15 minutes to do this activity, and then we're going to get back to our rapid fire presentations. Are there any questions? No questions here. Very astute group. Very good. And so we're going to give you 15 minutes. I'll give you a 5-minute warning, and so we transition. And so if there are other people in the room that you want to get to meet that you didn't see, take advantage of this opportunity, but help us with quick wins for these particular action areas and listing who should be involved that may not be. Thank you very much.
now in small group sessions. We'll resume broadcasting when the entire group gathers together again. About 15 minutes.